I suggested this because I hated it, but everybody loved it, so I want to see if I was wrong. I'm here with Brad and Milan. We're here for Crazy Stupid Love, and right before we get into the 420 reviews, I do want to say I forgot to put the Operation Fortune background on the last episode, so you got a begonia background for that. But since I didn't ask who wants to go first on 420, I'll put myself up for the chopping block. A 420 review is a 20-word review done with 4 words per line until you hit that sweet 420. Mine is hated it first time. I'll eat my words. Cheaters aren't always evil. Love isn't always love. The work is real. Who would like to go second?
I can go. I've got cute rom-com drama. Can't be made today. Weird commentary of 2010s. Great performances from cast. ELE is the key.
Okay, I have no idea what that means.
All right, I have charming cast, hollow core. He loves a girl, she loves a guy. Typical romance trope overload. Underwhelming love never dies.
And if you want your 420 review to be included, just go over to moviesdope.com. You can even be a free member and just drop in the Discord when we ask for it. But first, before we get into the non-spoiler part, I think we've got a little Bradley Cooper's trivia. Our Bradley Cooper is much sexier than the real thing.
So this movie, back in 2011, the end of 2010, whenever it came out, was shipped out. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to say it was released on July 29th, 2011 with a budget of $50 million, worldwide box office of $145,051,197. And it was written by Dan Fogelman, who's still very active, and directed by Glenn Ficarra and John Requa.
So when this movie was shipped out in 2011, when it shipped to the theaters, it was shipped out under the code name First Date. I'm not 100% sure why. I mean, it's kind of, after watching the movie, I don't really understand why they would use that code word, but
when does The Office end? Well, I fucked up the grammar of that, but the autocomplete was, when does The Office get good? It ended in 2013, so I'm guessing we were getting like peak hysteria or obsession with The Office and, you know, seeing the end in sight. So they may have been like, Steve Carell. Like,
yeah, I think this is probably about the time too, because the last couple seasons of The Office wasn't, or there was like some amount of seasons that Steve was gone. I don't remember if he came back for the end or not, but I know there's some amount of time that he was gone from the franchise. So I don't know, maybe he was doing this movie or something similar. But speaking of movies and common cast for TV shows, this is actually the first of 3 movies with Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, with the other 2 being Gangster Squad in 2013 and La La Land in 2016.
And the only one I haven't seen is, by reputation, the worst of the 3, with respect, and not because they had to do a bunch of reshoots for a reason I won't go into here.
I mean, I think they pair well together between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
But if you had a third one, then you would have a cuckold. And Cal uses some form of the word cuckold 8 times in this movie.
You know, that wasn't the one I was going to guess. Before we started recording, Brad was like, oh my God, there's a high count for this one word. I thought it was going to be love. But honestly, that's not surprising. He says it like again and again and again and again, probably right before Ryan Gosling, like, you, man.
Yeah, so I remember them saying the word, but I didn't realize he said it 8 times or some variation of it 8 times. I mean, that's got to be like pushing boundaries of like, I don't know if this is a PG-13 or rated R, but I mean, it's got to be pushing that boundary if it's PG-13. It's got to be one of those things.
I believe it's PG. Yeah, because I forgot most of this movie since I first watched it, but when I was watching, I said, you know, a word doesn't get used enough. I had to just make a Deadpool Wolverine reference to go gubernatorial when I was watching it with my partner. See, it's rating. Nope,
PG-13. It is.
Yeah.
I got it. It's PG-13.
Okay, cool beans. It's time for the non-spoiler section.
Let's run it.
All right. What'd y'all think? Positive, negative, meh?
I'd forgotten what movie this was when you threw it out and said, oh, watch this. And then when I started, I was very sad that I had to watch it again. So I did, though. I sat through it again. But that should tell you quite a bit about my feelings for this film.
Okay.
When you use the word sad like an emotional feeling towards the movie or emotional feeling that the movie gives you when you say sad?
It was it was definitely an emotional feeling. I brought to tears, but not because I was so moved by the film, more so because I felt that I could have been doing much better things with that hour and 57 minutes.
Okay, that's fair.
I think you and I started at the same place and then ended up in two different places. So, I will say I see all the tropes and stuff, and I do like the little bit of the lamp shading, but the reversal of it of like, I know how this night's supposed to be. And it's in the trailer, so this isn't actually a spoiler. We're, I get all sleepy and then you cuddle me and it's cute, but we're gonna bang. And then I'm in. The reversal, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that this movie does carry a lot of like rom-com tropes. It did throw me a little bit. There was one little thing that I wasn't expecting. When I got, exactly. That is exactly it too. There was one little thing that got me that I wasn't 100% sure on. So, but
Am I cutting out?
that was cute. It's good for like maybe a one-time watch. I mean, it's probably not something that I would probably rewatch. But I mean, if somebody recommended, hey, sit down and watch this movie, I mean, I probably wouldn't say absolutely not, but at the same time, like, wouldn't be something I'd go out and pick. But I'm also not a rom-com person, so I'm not the target audience.
Is there still stuff being said?
What do you mean? What?
I don't Bradley anymore.
Oh,
no.
Brad's here.
Oh no!
I can hear him. Here, Milan, do you want to refresh your page? Because I don't know what to do. Yeah, this was a movie kind of, I guess, near the tail end of the pickup artist phase, where everyone was like kind of freaking out about that, and like even in 17 again, and they use actual terms like negging and blah blah blah. But I did appreciate that they never actually included that vocabulary, and it was not, because I think it's a fine line for Ryan Gosling's character, and he's supposed to be looked at as a man, a mimbo, a player, but also I don't think he's ever presented as someone who's lying, like presenting but who he is in that, if that makes sense. He has little like, well, his big movie reference. I'll say that as a non-spoiling if people are gonna dip out before they get into others. But it definitely helped for the long term to distance them a little bit from that, since thankfully at a certain point, it became much more about people pointing out how gross that was. And I will say, when I went to college and I had literally no ability to like almost talk to anybody, somebody introduced me to that, and I never got past the opener phase, which I'm thankful for. But it did that only that little beginning helped me actually come out of my shell, because I had been a lot, and I really didn't know how to just be normal. I probably took a while to be fully like, all right, you're chill. But I do like this for Ryan Gosling. I mean, he's done stuff like, I think I've mentioned, I said my name Earl once, but it was Living with Earl. Oh shit, Ryan Gosling Earl, Lars and the Real, very indie stuff. But now he's got his Kenergy going. Yeah, I will say the reason I hated this is because it was much closer time that I had been cheated on when I had seen it. And look, I'll admit, so I'm not a hypocrite, I also once cheated. It was really ugly of me. I admitted to them later on, and then they blocked me. But that definitely informed a lot of my feelings about this film, where I was like, you son of a bitch. Not saying that Julianne Moore's character isn't like blameless in any way, but this was definitely a more catered situation than mine was, or whatever. And that's why I added the cheaters aren't always evil. But of course, having seen Julianne Moore in it, I got to show my partner like the first 30 minutes of Kingsman, because she's in Kingsman too. But yeah, it's cute. It's pretty, at the end of it, it's basic with some nice flourishes that make it stand apart and have some aspects that are in the realm of rom-coms closer to reality, I'm sure. And Marissa Tomei has a great scene-stealing monologue or a bit in there. But yeah, there's definitely also some stuff that didn't age too well, but it is also connected to a 13-year-old boy who can be guided to be not that. So relatively it aged well, I guess, ish.
I chose not. I think it doesn't. And that's why I put it in my 420 review is I don't think in today's culture that this could be remade, like basically shot for shot. I think it would come off as creepy in some relationships.
Oh yeah,
throughout the movie. Well, I don't mean that. I mean like that the social dynamic between it and between a boy and a girl and a guy. There's some. I don't think it would play very well nowadays. That's why I said it kind of had some weird comedy or weird dynamic commentary of the 2010s.
Yeah, I will agree that online people would definitely react more negatively just hearing that without watching it. Like I never saw it because I heard it was mediocre. But what's her? She was in Wednesday. She's the main actress. And Jenna Ortega, thank you. And Martin Freeman did some like film about some teacher having a relationship with his students. The whole lesson of the movie was that's not okay. But just people heard that synopsis and they were like, oh, so definitely reactions. Although I will say what I said with my partner, which was it's fine if some teenager has a crush on someone much older, as long as that's a one-way street. Because that's kind of, I think, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people, myself included, had crushes on like teachers, when we were little guys. And as long as the teacher never, and I wasn't going to do what the young lady did, but as long as the teacher never knew or especially never reciprocated, there's a little window. I don't know if 17 is in that window personally, but there's a little window where it's like, all right, it's okay to have a crush as long as that's all it is. So I agree that the reaction would be bad, but she's fine. Like she didn't do anything. I mean, it never got delivered. Like or the friend. Oh my God, anyone that friend or that colleague dated. Oh my God, jail, go now. But I get what you mean. Anything else for the non-spoiler section before we take the non away? Milan, you were frozen.
No, not really. I can echo a lot of what y'all said. Like as far as like the characters, the acting, because that of course it was a lot of the overdone. In that time when I was forced to watch it, it was already like shoved down my throat way more than I wanted it to be because I'm not a romance type person. So watching these type of things back with a group of girls who are all like, "Oh, Ryan Gosling," and I'm just like, "This is so idiotic." It was just kind of one of those things, I think. But the acting, of course, is phenomenal. There are definitely some, interesting, funny moments in there. I love Crow. So yeah.
And hey, don't get me wrong, Ryan Gosling with the shirt off. But yeah, fair. And I'm sure, like, especially for the time, like just having bigger roles or having them more dynamic in a rom-com like this was very interesting, probably for everyone. But also, I don't even know a character that I can think of a character written like Julianne Moore's character was, where it has that. Also, Josh Groban is in this. Like,
this is film debut.
Really? That's so cool. Yeah. The only other things I think I've seen him in are both ironically musical. Well, I guess not ironically for him. Musicals. One, he was on Glee. Sue Sylvester brought him and like two other characters together. And within Glee, she said, I forget his name. Let's say Charlie Chaplin. She was like, and you, I know that you're really Charlie Chaplin. You've been pretending to be Josh Groban for the last few years. He's like, and it's like clear that that's the truth. And I don't know if in that universe, Josh Groban died and he took his place, but I also kind of love that. And then in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, he does a duet with the main character or like comes in to back her up. And then at a certain point, he just sings, and I'm Josh Groban, but in some other tune. All right. So the dope meter, imagine starting at S tier, is ayahuasca before Brad can ask. Mushroom, edible, joint, skunky, and for the rare movie, which I'll always say I thought would be a Michael Bay film, but was a begonia, a Molly, as in a It was a good time. We had fun, but I can't say this was good. So where do y'all land on a dope meter for crazy, stupid love?
I'll give it an edible. It's not something that I would watch again, but I can acknowledge like the appeal of it, for other people. And I can definitely see one of my friends coming over one night and be like, hey, we should watch this. And then me saying, sure, because I love my friends and I support them. But it probably wouldn't be something that I picked out to watch on my own.
Barry, you're a good friend. Brad?
I'll go joint. I was thinking about going up, but I'm just going to stick with joint. Very tropey. Like I said, I don't think it could be remade today because there's some weird dynamics in the movie that were not acceptable then, but more acceptable than I think they are now. And the only reason I would put it just slightly higher is because there was one little thing that I wasn't expecting to see and saw it towards the endish of the movie. I was expecting to see something slightly different, but
I'm so excited because even though this time I got a little emotional a couple times, I think I squeaked out one tear. I'm smack dab in the middle, y'all. I give it 4 stars on Letterboxd, which is rare for me, and it is for me an edibly joint. So we're in a kind of harmony. I'm not the outlier. I'm like, oh, Brian, you sweet boy. Shh, enjoy your treats or enjoy your slop. But cool. All right, so we'll get into spoilers. Everybody's 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was the thing that you saw that you weren't expecting, Brad?
I was not expecting Emma Stone to be Steve Carell's daughter because the 2 other ones were so much younger, and she had graduated high school, college, and finished the bar. So I wasn't expecting that big of a difference between. If she would have been college, then I would have been like, maybe. But then she'd already completed college and the bar and was about to go into her first law firm. So to me, that was too far of a gap. So I wasn't expecting her. I was expecting Ryan Gosling to somehow come back, probably more in a role of like them bumping into each other, kind of like what they did with the teacher.
Yeah.
So I was expecting more of like something like that and not so much Emma Stone being his daughter.
Also,
when that happened, it was just kind of like a weird switch up.
Yes. Also, Joey King is the youngest of the 3, even though she's definitely the second most famous of the 3 now. That was really interesting to see because she almost has no story besides being, I don't know, a cute little kid, 7-year-old or whatnot. But yeah, something else. I was going to say I loved that Ryan Gosling called Steve Carell's character before they ran into each other. It was like, okay, he hasn't just completely ghosted him. And it was kind of sweet that he got an opportunity to give him some advice, Steve Carell's character, since he's like, I'm kind of freaking out, man. This is real. I'm so used to the artificial sweetener. Tell me what to do with this. I don't know where that was going.
It was kind of funny because they both needed each other and they both needed what the other one had to kind of complete everything, where Steve needed to be more confident in himself. I don't want to say explore his options, but like more attentive, and he needed to see what the world had to offer because he had only dated one person. And while that was his soulmate and everything throughout the movie, it gave him perspective on everything, because sometimes when you only eat chicken, you forget how good beef or pork might be. So it was nice for him to get out and
chicken, you forget how good the chicken is.
That
like
too.
If you're just like, I'm bored.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I think it came out wrong or bad, but like, yeah, you need to explore other things and then realize how good you have it at home. Like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It may look greener, but as soon as you get over there, you realize it's not. You realize it's weeds. But then also, what's his name? Very attractive guy.
Kevin Bacon?
Nope, not that one.
Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling. I couldn't remember his name.
Just
needed he kind of needed the slowing down and the maybe like stop playing the field type of aspect. And he needed more of the family man kind of aspect of everything. So it was kind of cool that they each needed a little bit of each other to make themselves better. So I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting little trope.
Yeah.
That was probably the only part of the film in itself, storyline, that I can say I enjoyed and didn't feel like it was super convoluted. Like, by itself, that could have made an interesting and like good romance film. But everything else being added into it, like, it was just like, but I did enjoy like the dynamic that they created between the two. I can't remember whether or not like I suspected anything the first time around. But now that you mentioned it, I'm like, oh no, that probably did come as a surprise to me too in that moment.
Also, the nickname Nana is such a dirty one. Like, I still respect it, but it's a dirty trick. And God, if I was I don't know what age you'd be if you're like passing the bar and expecting to get engaged. But like, if you're a 30-year-old, which that's crazy. 1 year apart, she did easy age. She was supposed to be an 18-year-old, and now she's like 25 to 30. If you're a 30-year-old and your nickname's Nana, there's no moment once you know that that's a nickname for a grandma that I think anyone would be okay.
I mean, my nickname in my family is Mimi, and that's another name for grandma. So
is it?
And my family still calls me Mimi.
I didn't know that was a nickname for grandma. Cool. How do you feel about that?
I have zero feelings about it. That was a nickname that was given to me in my youth.
Touche.
So that didn't come off as in any way as odd to me. It's like, okay, yeah, no, that's a normal thing to happen.
That's fair.
And they explained it in a way that didn't make it sound like the reason why it was Nana is because she couldn't say Hannah.
Yeah.
So it was Nana. So, I mean, at least they were able to explain it too. It wasn't just like, you look old, so we're just going to name you. So, I mean, they had a good explanation for it. But, I mean, if you're, let's see, graduating high school 18, 22, we'll say it takes you a year for the bar, 23, 20. So we'll say like mid-20s.
Sure.
And then the next child down was the boy, and he was 13, 12 or 13. So, I mean, you're looking at like a 10-year gap.
Which makes a lot of sense, too.
I will say the 17-year-old leaving the pictures with him, I mean, they're probably in California where like the age is 18, but that's probably the worst part for me. Like, her actually leaving the photos. I'm just like, girl, this ain't gonna happen. You're his babysitter. I don't care if you like, unless you all meet and you're 40 and he's 36, you're like, whoa, we're totally different people. How are you? And then that happens outside of literally that one situation. No thanks.
That was very relatable.
I do appreciate that they like let Steve Carell character just like nonchalantly, like not even click that was even a possibility that she liked him or anything like that.
Also, even though she was like preparing to make a move, and who knows if she actually would have, but even though she was preparing to, her talking to Julianne Moore's character and saying they fight to stay up for him. Nobody gives a shit about the dad. Like, her actually telling Julianne Moore's character, and I'm saying her as the character because we found out right before recording that the person playing them is non-binary, so I'm not trying to confuse the pronouns, but the character telling the mom, like, hey, he's actually really fucking great. Kind of respect that, especially if she has like a huge crush on him, because I wouldn't have been surprised if she, anyone was just like, yeah, you were right to do that. You should never think about going back with him if, they're young and dumb and have a crush. But yeah. And I also love that he interrupted her when she started saying she had a crush on him, because I did not want him to know that at all. Like, not even be haunted with that knowledge, not as a temptation way, but just like knowing, no, it's fine. No, I'm fine.
Gotta find a new babysitter.
I'm fine. No, I don't want to take a job away from a young person. They didn't do anything wrong, but like, I don't want to be in the room with them either. Alone.
And I feel like that's way more common than y'all realize. Like, y'all are talking like, oh man, that's just so out of the realm of like reality.
No, I mean, her having a crush?
No, just like how everything kind of played out. Like, that was a regular conversation I remember having in high school. Like
crushes on older men or whatnot?
I mean, not just that, the entire scenario. Like, I remember having to talk down friends and be like, really? Do you think it's smart to go send that picture to this guy or go drop this off over there? Did they do it? Yeah. Did they have relations with them? I won't say more, but like, I think that is so normal that I didn't even really pay that much attention to it in the film.
Unfortunately, I'm not surprised by that.
So it's interesting that you picked that you were like, oh man, this was like something so interesting to me. I was like, oh no, that's something I completely really didn't pay attention to because I was so desensitized to it in reality.
Oh no, it was just as long as it's not reciprocated. Unfortunately, I know that is too common. Like, I even remember two friends from high school on Facebook very publicly were talking about, oh my God, these young girls don't know that they're being preyed upon. But also, I was in that situation and it was fine. And I was like, and they're just having a public conversation out. Like, they were like, it's fine for me. And I feel for them because I don't know what it does for somebody if they have to actually reckon with the reality of it for themselves. But they knew very clearly that if it was any other young lady, then it was horrible. So no, I'm not saying that that's rare. I'm actually saying it's pretty common. I just wish the reciprocating was non-existent. I was going to say more rare, but no, the truth is just, non-existent. I just don't judge the kid in that situation.
Well, then she turns around and gives the photos to a 13-year-old. So
yeah, that's why I was like, you're both still kids, so I guess I can't judge you as much as an adult, but also you knew it's not okay. So I
mean, the situation would have been okay, without the pictures, when you get older, come find me kind of thing would have been, sure. I'm not going to say fine. I'm going to say, would have been less. The character's weird, still less creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that she gave the pictures to him was just no, that's too far. That's way too far.
Yeah. Cause I've seen publicly how there were people who very publicly, or at least one, assaulted Justin Bieber on stage essentially, but that was a woman. So it was oh, that's fine. And when I've talked about this publicly in videos. So when I was 13, about to turn 14, a 17-year-old girl that was very pretty to me, or 18 or something, at some swim pool, I had been joking around. They asked me to go somewhere. And I was I don't know what stopped me, but I'm glad it did. I was I'm actually busy just, in this kiddie pool with a couple of my fellow classmates. So yeah, just back when the whole point was to say that in 2011, a woman doing that, I think, was more, people publicly thought it was more acceptable. Anytime I heard a young man, that guy who impregnated his female teacher twice, both times when he was underage, I didn't hear a lot of guys my age, because we were teenagers or less, looking at that negatively. They were all oh, lucky him. That's the one thing I'd definitely change now if I could, for sure.
Although the little fight scene thing when they were all finally connecting all the pieces to everything was pretty funny. And Ryan Gosling being whatever you're grabbing, stop grabbing there, or something to that effect.
Yeah, what reminded me of this is I think I saw on Thread someone clip the beginning of that. And it started with the fight between Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling, and he was "You're Lyndon Hagen," and he immediately takes off his ring, and they were I will always love that the second Ryan Gosling finds out that that's the guy, he's back to friendship. The punch is too far. That's just battery. He should be in jail, technically. If Lyndon Hagen wasn't being, I guess, a gentleman in the scenario, because he definitely could have just pressed charges. But I do appreciate that brotherliness. Obviously, in a real life situation, it would be more take him by the shoulder and be we're going to walk you out now, because this is not the place to be for you now, or in my opinion, ever. But, I'm not the decider of that.
I also appreciate the amount of memes that came out of this movie. Every time I saw one, I was oh, that's where this meme came from. Oh, okay. I Ryan Gosling, and it's oh, look, there's at least 2 or 3 of them where I was just okay.
Yeah, my partner was drawing during that point. I had to reverse it just so they could see it, the reaction to the Velcro wallet of. And they cut out when Steve Carell tried his first approach with Marissa Tomei, where he's boring, because I think that, and understandably, that was a very uncomfortable moment of just oh my God, what the fuck are you doing? But I think even in that one, he did the other meme where he's holding, why am I doing that? I have a glass right here. It's yes, I do love that. Oh, and this is obviously, he has lines and whatnot, but the baby, don't put baby in a corner. The Time of Our Lives, that reference where he lifts up Emma Stone.
Oh,
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
He's I work it in, and yeah, I don't work. I'm all right. If that's the closest thing we have to a line, I'm glad it's not something worse, if you know what I mean. I'm just glad that it didn't fully dive into the pickup artist thing for a main character. And honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if Ryan Gosling had a hand in that, because hearing him talk about his wife and kids during the Barbie tour is just adorable. Anyone want their heart to grow 10 times its size and break out of the Grinch-shaped cage it's in? Just look up Ryan Gosling Barbie tour. He's always with Margot Robbie. He's such a sweet guy. I'm probably gonna watch that later. But cool.
You're talking about Eva Mendes?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. 100% didn't know that.
Yeah. And it also doesn't feel like, of course, he's an actor and he's a great actor. So great assault, but it also feels so sincere because like I think somebody asked him about his family life. And I think in relation to Barbie, he was just like, when you have like a wonderful person like Eva Mendes, I just kind of follow her lead. And so, there's a 1 in 1,000 chance in my head of him being like, I'm on the Barbie tour. I'm going to make everything super like pro Barbie and do that angle. But he really felt genuine where he starts talking about that. And I think he cuts himself off. He's like, okay, this isn't about Ken. This is the Barbie tour. And he gets like uncomfortable because I think they're very private about their private life with each other and their kids.
Yeah, I'm just looking up here. Looks like they first met on the 2011 film Places Beyond the Pines. Mm-hmm. They had their first daughter in 2014, second daughter in 2016, and Eva Mendes didn't announce that they were married until Mendes referred to Gosling as her husband in 2022. So they've been together now 15-ish years, depending on obviously when in 2011. But
quick Bradley Cooper's trivia: do you know what Eva Mendes' favorite movie is?
Is it a Ryan Gosling film? Because that would be pretty perfect.
No, but that is. I know Emily Blunt has talked about how Joseph Krasinski will watch The Devil Wears Prada privately, and she'll walk in on him and it's just like, you're just so good at this. But no, it is not that. It is Anchorman. She said that's like her Bible. So she really wanted to be in The Other Guys. And she was like, I was in heaven. This is my Anchorman apparently is her godfather, like the movie. Yeah, they seem super sweet.
And she plays a really good role in The Other Guys. So
yes, I think I saw a video essay about that. Obviously, it's hilarious that the whole bit is Will Ferrell's like, oh, the old ball and chain. Like, I really settled for this one. And Mark Wahlberg's just like, she's so pretty. But then when she inspires him to let Gator out and just kick ass. Oh, that's another movie I'll watch. Best montage ever, because it's not a montage. They just did like a 3D tracking shot where everyone's frozen in time. Is also best opening ever as well. When Dwayne Johnson could lose a fight with gravity next to Samuel L. Jackson. Aim for the bushes.
That movie is so quotable.
And the most unforgettable question, of course, was Crazy Stupid Love better than Operation Fortune Rustigare?
I mean, I'm going to say no, but
I'm going to say yes. Just because I wasn't a huge fan of Operation in a really long time.
Structurally, it's not a better film. Tropey. Both have tropes, but both bring unique voices or unique flourishes to their storytelling. Gosh, I actually wish y'all had made this easier. I'll say Operation Fortune because that's probably an easier rewatch, and you don't have to wonder. Yeah, they had a bad marriage, but when did she apologize? So, all right. Operation Fortune is better than Crazy Stupid Love, despite it producing many less iconic gifs. And continuing on to the next part, which is a totally natural transition and definitely not an edit 2 weeks later. People on audio. Anything else before? And speaking of quotable, another semi-quote. This movie may be inedible, or it may be a joint. Maybe even be in the middle, inedibly joint. But no matter what, this movie is dope. Because movies are dope.
Bye now.
Yes, thank you.
I'm just looking at weird facts about Eva Mendes. So she's been sober since 2008.
Oh, I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about the absolute faux pas of Steve Carell's character panicking and calling Marissa Tomei a drunk. Like, oh, what a
or the fact that when she wrote
moment.
asshole on the board, it changed 4 times.
Oh, did it? That's great. Cool.
You got this, big guy.
Thanks, little guy.
Bye-bye now. Baby, come back. Baby, come back to me.
Hey, Mom. There you go.
Trying to do my 420 review. This is a lot harder for a movie like this.
I'm living in a movie, there's a scene you gotta jump. I got my people at the viewing who all knew me selling tickets. Yeah, they talking about the beauty. I see Scorsese outside saying this isn't cinema. Free man, I ain't doing shit tomorrow, I don't need plans. I'll be kicking it till April off for $3 grand. I don't even need the money, I just need fans. I just need fans.